competition in a tough 70-kilometer sprint around Toronto's Queen's Park, the home of Ontario's own provincial wheelers and dealers. Included in this top-notch field are members of the Canadian Olympic team and the national squads from the Netherlands, Britain, Ireland, Australia, West Germany, the USA, as well as the finest teams from the Metro Toronto area. Right now, let's join Ernie Afghaniss and cycling great Gord Singleton at the Canadian Tire Cycling Classic.
Bicycle racing was first introduced into Canada in the late 1800s. By the 1930s, cycle races were attracting big-paying crowds, which thrilled to the six-day exploits of Torchy Peden. Torchy electrified his fans during the Depression years. That excitement wasn't rekindled until 1966, the year a 16-year-old named Jocelyn Lovell captured his first Canadian championship. Lovell went on to win 29 national titles and 4 Commonwealth Games gold medals before injury cut short his career. But his accomplishments were an inspiration to the next generation of Canadian cyclists. In 1982, Gord Singleton, a track specialist from Niagara Falls, became the first Canadian to win a world championship. His successes in turn spurred athletes on like Steve Bauer, Alex Stita, and Kurt Harnett. All three competed at the 1984 Los Angeles Olympics. Bauer won a silver in the road race, and Harnett collected a silver in the kilo. Stita's moment of glory didn't come until 2 years later, when he became the first North American to win a stage in the Tour de France. Those achievements, topped by Steve Bauer's impressive fourth-place finish at the 1988 Tour de France, have sparked the interest of cycling fans right across the country and put Canada on the international cycling map. This weekend from Toronto, we bring you one of the largest Pro-Am international cycling races in North America, the Canadian Tire Classic. Now we're ready for the Criterium, the first part of a men's two-stage race. This is the elite men's race. And the oval here at Queen's Park has been changed this year, which makes the race much more dramatic and certainly more exciting. Gord Singleton is on the course.
The first change in this year's circuit is at the north end of the track. It's a hairpin bend. Now the riders will be going fairly fast after crossing the finish line. They'll be staying to the right-hand side of the course here, trying to negotiate the bend as tight as possible without losing any momentum whatsoever. At this point, they'll be jumping out of the corner down the back straight. Down the back straight, the riders will be doing speeds in excess of 35 miles an hour. At the bottom here, they reach a sharp left-hand 90-degree turn. Very dangerous, yet very, very fast. With the size of the field, the riders will be crowding the corner, trying to be the first one through. We could see some crashes at this point.
A total of 89 riders make up the top-class field in this year's Foster's Criterium. Their teams are drawn from countries like Italy, Britain, Holland, and of course Canada. The Canadian squad featured Chris Koberstein, Luca Segato, Brian Walton, David Spears, and Yvonne Waddell. And they'll be tested by last year's winner, Gervais Rioux, and his teammates on the US-based 10-speed drive.
Riders ready!
The riders face a grueling 70-kilometer race, circling the Queen's Park Oval 58 times. They approach the early going with a conservative pace, exercising a degree of caution as they lean into the sharp hairpin bend at the north end of the course.
Gervais Rioux takes the lead as the pack moves down the back stretch. Bicycle brakes squeal as the riders get their first taste of the potentially hazardous southwest corner. Canadian Yvonne Waddell, known as a premier sprinter, led the first breakaway of the race, paced by Ziggy Zwolan, a former Polish national star who defected to Canada 4 years ago. Zwolan now suits up for the Decor Sealing Team of Toronto and is highly rated as a future prospect.
Zwolan and Waddell open up a 12-second lead over the tightly bunched pack. 8 laps to go, Waddell and Zwollen take turns to maintain the punishing pace, which has now stretched their lead over the rest of the field to 15 seconds.
The pressure is on the pack to catch up to the leaders, and their riders are clearly taking more risks as they speed through the southwest corner. For some, the gamble spells their downfall. Others wilt under the relentless pace and withering heat. And an Italian rider nurses a wound that puts him out of the running.
With 37 laps to go, Waddell and Zwollen have worked together to build a lead up to 20 seconds.
But there are signs that the pack is fighting back, led by a determined Chris Huber of the 10-speed drive team. Comfortably poised in the middle of the group is race favorite Gervais Rioux.
Almost at the halfway stage, and the chase group's tactics have paid off. The Waddell-Zwollen tandem have been reeled back in, and Chris Huber now paces the lead group of 12 riders. A wheel change gives Canadian speedster Brian Walton a breather. He'll rejoin the race in the same place he left it.
27 laps remaining, and Gervais Rioux, the former Canadian team veteran, makes his move, surging to the front of a new breakaway group of 5 riders. Rioux trades places with Ian Dornelis and the other front runners as they try to burn off the rest of the field and kill any chance of a last-minute challenge.
"16 laps to go, and a flat tire takes last year's winner Gervais Rioux out of the race for a wheel change. He rejoins the lead group on the next lap, picking up the same position in the field. It's left to Canadian team member Dave Spears, a crowd favorite, to make one of the most difficult moves in bicycle racing, a solo attack on the lead group, which is 26 seconds ahead of him.
Front wheels just went.
Canadian teammate Yvon Waddell, his face etched with fatigue, rejoins the race after a wheel change. The group of 7 have now opened up a commanding lead and will soon overtake the rest of the field for the first time in the race.
The last breakaway attempt of the race comes from West German ace Valtalzi as he pounds the pedals to open up a clear road between himself and his rivals. A courageous effort.
With 2 laps to go, the men's Criterium is really 2 races in one. The leaders jockeying for position for the final sprint. The rest of the pack competing with the clock for a respectable finish. As the bell sounds for the final lap, Gervais Rioux is well placed at the head of the field to repeat last year's winning performance. After almost 2 hours of intense competition, the result of the Criterium rests on a final, frantic sprint as riders jostle wildly for an opening. But veteran Ian Dornelis, in the white helmet, shows his experience as he rushes past teammate Jeff Costello to take the race.
A replay of the finish shows how one rider behind the leaders illegally pushes another rider, causing a crash in an effort to gain position for the final sprint.
I got in a break and I was feeling strong, I was pulling hard, and I came through the superb sprint.
What about that last turn, though? What was
The
happening
last
there?
turn was very hairy and dangerous, but I came out second, with my teammate just leading me out, so it was no problem to bring it home.
It's 8 years since Dornelis was on the Canadian team, but he proves today he still has star quality. Dornelis' time is an impressive 1:47.09. Valtausi gave West Germany second. Dornelis' teammate Jeff Costello took third, and last year's winner,